Hi, Kim. I guess y'all went over the tape of the game and worked out any difficulties. What did you see looking back over the game, and what did you talk to the team about?
Well, we haven't yet. I have to give them a day off. So yesterday was their day off, but when we leave, y'all, we'll have our come to Jesus. Got to do a little both. Can't spend all the time talking about what's already happened. We got to get ready for a very good Arkansas team.
Sorry to do this to you, but Sean Peyton is announcing his retirement today from the Saints. So, as a Louisiana girl, just wondering your thoughts on that news, and if
I
you're
had that conversation actually this morning on the 8:30, right after I got off with T-Bob and Hester. His dad, Bobby, was it WWL, had asked me to go on when we were in the process of hiring a football coach here, and I think I took him by surprise when I said go after Sean Payton. Just thought he's a household name here, and I would think young players would know of his NFL background. Um, I don't know him personally. I respect what he has done for our state and for the New Orleans Saints, and he put a product on the field that back when I was growing up, it was the New Orleans Aints, and we put paper bags on our heads. Y'all are probably all too young to remember that, but I remember it. And he took us from that era of Saints football to what we love now, and that is we don't like to lose. And we can all be grateful for his time in New Orleans and in the state, and I don't know what his plans are, but he was a tremendous coach.
You mentioned Arkansas. Just what have you seen from them? Just what do you know about them
Too many
on defense?
threes. Guys, they lead the conference in most threes made, so you're going to see a version, probably a better version, quite frankly, of Missouri. You know what you saw here, and that's what they live by: threes, layups, and free throws. It is an extremely difficult matchup for our bigs. They're young, which I don't want to say is an advantage for us. The disadvantage is we've got to guard the three ball all over the floor.
Kim, would you talk a little bit about the post rotation? I mean, do you anticipate any changes there, or you want to just get better game performance out of them?
Listen, there's nothing to change. It's not broken. We're 17-3. We had a chance to win the game on the road against a very hard fought game, a talented team that's playing their best basketball. It's like I said before we left. Timing is everything. Timing is everything, and we have two difficult matchups here in a row. But as long as we're fighting and we're in the ball game, you come back, you regroup, you correct some things, and you don't really change a whole lot. We are who we are. Our identity is pretty much what it is right now, and we understand that we got to fix some things that didn't go so well on the road, and it wasn't physical things; it was just mental things. A couple of them didn't respond well to some adversity.
After the game, you talked a little bit about Ryan Payne. She came off the bench and gave you some good minutes. Would you talk a little bit more in depth about her development and then the role she's come into? She's like your first one off the bench in the perimeter.
Well, Ryan gives us speed, quickness. Ryan can score the basketball, and she's not afraid to shoot it. I thought, of all the perimeter players at Florida, did the best job on Kiki. She took away her left hand better than anybody. The things I want to continue to work with Ryan on is she's got another year with us, and I want her and Alexis Morris, the minutes they get this year, I want them to improve so that next year they're teaching the younger ones how can she improve, understanding the entire game. Not just be this great athlete that plays basketball. Understand what's a good shot. Understand how can I make my teammates better. Just understanding basketball, and I think when you're a new coach and you're a sub and you get in the game, you tend to want to do a lot of things quickly to stay on the floor. I understand that. But I just want her to improve on all facets of being that coach on the floor, see everything through the eye of a coach. And haven't had her long enough to do that. And I ask her to do a lot of things when she goes in. One minute I want the ball in her hands so KP can go to the off guard, but then sometimes I don't. And I don't think that's fair to her. I just think that's how quickly we had to make adjustments with the 4 perimeter players we have.
This last game was basically Kayla and the other girls, right? And you kind of talked about
And it's
it.
got to stop. But without Kayla, we don't even have a chance in that game. And I will share that with them. You can't have a basketball team that's going to be considered 12th in the country and compete and have one kid do it all. And yet she made mistakes, but she could give you 50, but if you lose, the losing far outweighs what she did offensively for you.
You may have alluded to, is it mental adversity that I think was the term you used, that they could get over quickly?
Well,
We kind of talked about this in the past.
Every kid wants to do good. I've never met a player that starts a game and doesn't want to do good. It's when things don't go to suit you that your true character surfaces. In your jobs, the same way. Things aren't going to always go to suit you. And you have to fight through mistakes. You can't in this game expect a coach to babysit you mentally during a game. People are out there fighting hard, and I just thought we had a couple kids that unexpectedly just couldn't shake it. And they know. I don't have to go in there today and rip them. They know. But I do have to go in there and address and say, look, you almost won a game against a hot team on their home floor, and think about what we didn't have that day that we've had all year. So you got to address it, and because there's 9 games left to be played in this league, and we still got to win some games to be able to compete and get to the NCAA tournament. You have not arrived yet, but keep perspective too. You're 17-3. The 2 losses in the SEC, did we have a chance to win them? You bet we did. So just correct things. And we will. We'll go in there and do a little Florida stuff and then move on to Arkansas. 2 totally different teams, 2 totally different styles, but 2 teams on the road can beat you. I said this earlier. Anybody can beat us, but we can also beat anybody, and that's the kind of team we have.
Coach, with Caleb Borner dropping 35 against Florida, can you talk about her impact off the court besides what we see on the court, and like how she interacts with players in the locker room and whatnot?
Well, I don't go in the locker room enough to answer that because I feel like a locker room is a sacred place, and when I go in there, I want their full attention, and it's not going to be what it's like if I'm not in there. I want that to be a place that they enjoy each other. I want that to be a place where they cry, where they're sharing happy tears and everything else. But I can tell you that she just has my respect, and I've said it over and over and over again. She stayed here. She loves LSU, and she stayed here in spite of her aunt no longer being the coach. And not only did she stay, she embraced my coaching style and how I don't want to say demanding, but how intense I am. And I just know she deserves, Cherry, all those seniors, they all deserve to finish their career here getting to the NCAA playoffs.
Touching on what you said earlier, having such a great performance out of Kayla, and no one else got in double figures. Do you figure they're going to be self-correcting to a degree? Like players who didn't, come. It was hard to come close to that performance, but it didn't come close to it. Will challenge themselves in the next game.
I doubt I have to say a whole lot in that locker room today, but I will. So several of them are out there an hour ago working on their own. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. when you're a competitor, you know when a coach is disappointed in you. That bench works wonders. That bench, nobody likes sitting. But again, this program and this team and what we're trying to do far outweighs any one or two individuals. And I said it, and I'm most complimentary of Kayla and what she tried to do, but you can't do that single-handedly. And they need to understand, what did you do? What did you do to help us? And then you show them things that it's not a physical thing. It's not a physical thing. Remember, we played South Carolina, and I came right in here, and I said, guys, we gave it everything we had. They're just better than we are, okay? But we still were in the ball game. There were some instances in that Florida game where they weren't better than we were. We didn't defend. And that probably eats at me more than anything, is that I am a coach that really, really takes pride in defending you and being physical. They were more physical than we were. And that was the whole game. And we've got to ask ourselves why. And we'll address all that. But I don't have any doubt. It wasn't like we got blown out. It wasn't like it was not a hard-fought deal, but it was little things that you may not know that I know quickly. What's the matter with her? You know, something's not right here. And you still almost won the game.
Got time for a couple more questions, guys.
Talking about Jalen Cherry here, I guess as far as seeing that type of performance and the technical foul, was it surprising seeing that from one of your veteran players?
Well, yes, it's always surprising and it's disappointing. I'm the only one that should be allowed to get a technical, and we'll address that. We've had 2 technicals this year. Foss got one and Cherry got one, and that needs to be the last one. You're 2 captains. I know your frustrations, and I'm not telling you the referee made the right call. That is not it. You just have to keep a cool head in a hot game. Let me fight for you. Let me be the bad guy, because it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, and I actually didn't see the technical. I turned around to make a statement to kids on the bench in a teaching moment, and I heard the whistle blow, and I turned back around, and I said, what did she do? And so I didn't see it. I came back later and saw it. She flipped the ball over her shoulder, and so anyway, we'll address that today.
Finish with Matt.
Arkansas shoots. I mean, you talked about the most.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Make my life more miserable for the next 48 hours till we play them. Take it real slow and tell me what they shoot from the field. Tell me how many they shoot. Go ahead, buddy.
No, that's.
I love that you're doing your homework.
Yeah, no, 27 threes a game.
Well, let's round it off and say 30.
30.
Let's make it sound really good.
You played Florida Gulf Coast, Missouri. Do you feel like the team's at least getting comfortable against this style?
No, you never get comfortable guarding that style when your style is 2 bigs. Okay? You never get comfortable. You have sleepless nights going, do I go small? Well, if I go small, then what am I going to do on the offensive end that, you know, we're pretty good at, you know? So, yeah, it's good coaching on their part. They have the style of athletes and players that can do that. So I don't have the perfect answer. We'll try to be who we are and guard them. And if it doesn't work, then make adjustments either by going zone or whatever. But they've got to guard us too. They've got to guard us too. So it's a difficult matchup. But I take the schedule when it happens, and you pretty much know what each team's style is, and I could just tell you, Missouri, Florida Gulf Coast, Arkansas, you know, you can tell what's going to give you problems defensively. Not on the perimeter. It's always with your post matchups.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we're good? You didn't tell me how many they make a game. Do you know that? 9.37, about 10 makes a game, right? That's pretty good, isn't it? Y'all have a good one.